Hello my beautiful Rainbow's Light community, welcome to your next reading. So this reading is something special here because it's going to be about a past life influence that is showing up in your present moment. So for the first cards I chose some tarot and some oracle cards here. For you we were going to look at them at the beginning of your reading and trying to figure out what this past life was about. And then by the end of the reading there is some tarot cards here that are going to show us what your present moment is. So even if you don't believe in the possibility of past lives, maybe you can still hang on to this reading because I'm going to look at the second half of each reading into your present moment. Yeah, for group number 1, you have the Page of Cups here to choose from. Together with some tarot cards by the Tarot of the Magical Moment or maybe Mystical Moments. I cannot remember. I will put it in the description box below. And this is group number 2 with the beautiful Strength card. Together with the tarot cards by, I think it's called the Rainbow Tarot by Soul. Yes. So now you can choose either pile 1 or pile 2, and I'm going to see you in your reading. Hello my pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So at the beginning we are looking at 5 cards that are giving us information about your past life, and after that we are going to look at 4 to 5 cards connecting your past life to your present life. So I'm going to put your oracle cards, your tarot cards over here. And we are going to start here with the first oracle card. It's the Speaker card. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. So there was probably a leader role that you were forced to step in, or well, it's a life purpose, so I guess you wanted to be a leader, a speaker, maybe a preacher, or someone who was like a trader in the field of trading, communicating, a manager maybe even. But when I look back at centuries very, very far away from this one, then yeah, it could be anything like a leader role where you had to speak to a group of people. Yeah, and teaching maybe also, preaching, teaching, being a leader, being a boss. And then we have the Freedom card. You are free to choose, no, you are free to do what you choose. So this card is always a card that, there's a few cards like this in this deck that are always saying that whichever way you want to take, you are supported and you can just do whatever you want, but be sure to do it with a full heart, kind of like you are free. I guess I have the feeling maybe in your past life you already accomplished something in the life before, so your past life, that made you free to choose. And since you really liked talking to people, well, maybe, I don't know, I have the feeling it doesn't have to be that you were like a leader, and like even people who are not very extroverted can also be great speakers, but then you maybe speak through books or to a smaller group of people. Or maybe you were a speaker, someone who was very talkative in your private life, and maybe in business you were seeking something else. Because I have the feeling here the Freedom card is also a card that could talk about someone who is maybe like just a free-spirited soul, someone who maybe was in the arts field. Doesn't have to be, but I get a strong feeling that you really liked what you were doing here. Yeah. And Spirit was giving you the freedom to choose whatever you want, and you were born with this speaking skills here in this past life, or maybe you reached those skills in this past life, and in this life you were born with those skills right away. But let's see, what else do we have here? We have the Six of Pentacles, and I wanted to do it like a triangle here. So the first card I wanted to be like the main card here, from the Greer tarot. So we have the Six of Pentacles. So it gives me strong trader vibes, like someone who is trading something, who is like working. Maybe if it's back into like hundreds of years ago, at least some centuries ago. Probably someone who was like, I don't know, I have the feeling like someone who was working or living on the ocean and maybe trading, like moving out into the world and trying to find products, business, I don't know, something to trade with, and then coming back home and selling it on the market. And of course, for that, you need to be able to be a good speaker, to get people to buy your products. And I also get the feeling of like a boss energy. I don't know, I'm not sure if you are the giver or the taker here. But since we have this speaker card, it gives me this leading energy, the leadership energy. And I think, as I remember it in this card, this is also something like a trader here portrayed with this man. And he's like the boss, and there's people, like employees, waiting for their payment. And he is always giving the money in a very fair way. So, of course, this is a metaphor for life in general, that life is always giving what you need, and it's not saying that it's the things that you maybe you want more, but life is making sure that you always have enough for you or the things, so that life is making sure that you have everything that you need. And it's not saying that it's what you like. You probably wanted more than that in the past life, and maybe you didn't get enough, or you used to be the boss here and you were giving in a fair amount, in a fair way, the amount that the people that were working for you or buying your products, in a fair way, you kind of like traded in a very fair way, I have the feeling here. Or you were dependent on someone like that for your whole life, for your whole past life. So then we have this Page of Cups card here that you chose for this reading. Okay, so how is this playing into it? I also have, again, the feeling of oceanside with the Page of Cups, someone who is on one hand being very talkative, or somehow the talking aspect seems to be very important here. Speaking, maybe it's more about what people were talking to you. Maybe it is about I don't know. I have the feeling there is some kind of like melancholic feeling with this card here, that there was always something missing, maybe, or maybe in this past life, or maybe there was something that you wanted to be, but you couldn't because you were relied on this job, on the real things, on building things in life and having enough money, and it also gives me again this freedom and Page of Cups, this very strong artistic vibes. The Page of Cups is an artist. He's sometimes depicted also as a woman, and even in this card, in this deck here with the Greer tarot, we cannot really say for sure if it's what gender this card is, and it also doesn't matter in the end, because that's how it is usually for autistic people. That very specific description of things on are putting things in boxes and borders, and I have the feeling maybe underneath whatever you did here or whatever you had to do in life, there was also this strong artistic side, maybe a strong artistic force was in you. And I'm not sure if you already developed that in this past life, or if it was something that you wanted to do but you weren't able to. Oh, okay. So now we have the Five of Swords. That makes a lot of sense with the speaker here. So there were situations with people here in this past life that put you in a very not concerned but very thoughtful, and I have the feeling you were very you were probably more someone who was very decent and kind, and you have experienced a lot of rough communication here with some people, and probably people that were above you. So it could be bosses or people you were married to, parents, and there was either one huge aspect in this past life that was kind of traumatic, I would say, but something that was related to the words that someone else was speaking, that was influencing you on an emotional level here, and was kind of like creating in your heart area some hurt, some pain. And we have the Page and the 5 and the 6 here. So I have the feeling life was giving you the opportunity here to learn how to deal with this kind of deceptive energy, with this, the 5 of Swords can play out in different ways, but one thing is for sure, that it's always all the pain or the suffering that comes from the 5 of Swords is coming through words. It's coming through what you or other people are saying. It could be situations like, conversations, fights that you have with people, and misunderstandings, but usually where people are very mean to us. It could be bullying, it could be bullying and mobbing others. And again, we have the ocean here in the background. So you were either living on the ocean side and having something to do with trading and something. It could still be something like that, or it could also talk about that you were free to do whatever you want. Like even in this situation, maybe you felt trapped somehow, being dependent on a boss, on making money, feeding a family, but then on the other side, this past life was trying to show you that, or was trying to teach you that you are always free to choose. You can always maybe leave this company or this group of people, or maybe this partner that you were with, that was mean to you, maybe more on the mean side. And another thing is interesting here, that we have these very joyful dolphins here in the background, and so I have the feeling that you were always free to choose to look on the positive side of life, and you were always able to stop solving things through words, solving situations in your life through talking with people. Like sometimes we can always be very much in our head and trying to figure out, to find solutions for problems only through our thoughts and not including the heart. And that can create a lot of negativity. And then life or spirit is trying to tell us, usually in those situations we get a lot of I don't want to say warnings, but like hints and clues that there's also another perspective that we can step into, and to be more on the positive side and to be more kind to us. So it's a little bit vague still. There is some there is a lot of like I can see a lot of connection here between the cards, but it's very vague. And since it's not a very deep past life reading, I would say we will just jump into your present situation here and see if there's some connection here, if this makes sense to your present life. So at the beginning we have the Temperance card. Okay, so this is the first big arcana card here. We are starting out with the Temperance card, so that makes very much sense since there is some deceptive energy here. The Temperance card is always talking about taking some time off, needing to rest, and it's very peaceful card. It's a very peaceful card. It also gives me vibes of the Page of Cups here and of the Freedom card, to realize that you are always free to do or to choose what you want. And I think in your reading there was more cards, and there were more cards coming out than I was planning to. I was planning to, when I shuffled it, to only take 4 cards for each side here, and in your reading there was one more card. The Three of Swords. Okay, so it's definitely talking about something that someone said here in a past life, and it's still reoccurring in your present moment, or at least in this life. It probably had occurred somewhere in the past in this life, that you... I mean, we all have this kind of situations, but that everyone is experiencing mean situations with people, but there had been some maybe even traumatic experiences here. Usually the Three of Swords is talking about heartbreak and things, but I always find it interesting that it's not in the Cups card. We also have the Five of Cups that can also talk about heartbreak, but the Three of Swords is, in the end, it's a sword card. It's talking about the pain and the suffering that is coming, that is put on our heart here, on the heart, probably at a very young age. We have the Page of Cups, so maybe in your childhood you have experienced harsh words from parents probably, or from teachers, and that are still stuck with you today, or that had been, and you were working on this recently to heal that. And then we have the Two of Swords. I have the feeling we are going down from a 6 to a 5, to a 3, and now to a 2. And when it's going down, it's usually going down to like a situation where you are really, really, really forced from life to look at, I will put it in the middle here, you are really forced to look at things. And with the Two of Swords, it's a situation where we are also in front of the ocean here, like the Five of Cups, but there's no one around. It's only us with our thoughts, and we are so much in our thoughts that they blind us. And it's a very plausible situation to be in after experiencing this, to kind of like not trusting life anymore, And I get a similar feeling here with these cards when I just look at it and at the atmosphere. And again, I get some younger spirit here, something like childhood, or being at least something underneath 20 years old, and experiencing, but then by the time of becoming an adult, choosing to to lock down your heart, kind of like maybe closing your heart. Yeah, definitely there's a situation where you are closed off on the heart side and you are in your head, but in such an probably excessive way that it's a bit too much. And we also have those two birds on top of her head here, and they are not inside the birdhouse, they are outside, chirping at each other, kind of like gives me also the feeling of that this person is like thinking of past moments where there was this confrontation with another person, and you are constantly like in your head about it, and you are unable to see all the beauty that is within you still and around you. And the Page of Cups, I mean, it's a past life here, but the Page of Cups, since I laid it out intuitively this way, Page of Cups is always someone who can come into our life, an energy and atmosphere, or a person who is giving us an opportunity for like a present, something kind words that are touching us on an emotional level. And I have the feeling this is missing out here at the moment, at least. And there's a strong need for healing here. Yeah, to be able to move forward. And then we have another two card, the Two of Wands. So we have the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands, but the Two of Wands is not bad, considering coming after the Two of Swords, because the wand energy is always a very active energy, an energy where we go out there. And the Two of Wands is a card where you are trying to choose, you haven't chosen yet, but you are about to choose a new direction in life. And maybe it is, but you are still unsure. Like here you are not even unsure, you don't even see what's possible. And here with the Two of Wands, you know what's possible, you have this opportunity or that one, but you're kind of hesitant, you're not really in it because you are still hurt. There's still something holding you back, or you are kind of blinded to see what's the best solution here. But this fire energy with the one card is indicating that there is some fire coming back, and you are going to... The Two of Wands, I mean, we have a lot of like decision cards in the tarot, not a lot, but a few. And the Two of Wands is that card where you are deciding for the most exciting opportunity. I would even go that far to say that maybe you should choose something that puts you out of your comfort zone. Yeah, definitely, I would say that. It's probably necessary here, and there is a repetitive pattern here from a past life that has occurred, or maybe you have not experienced this heart pain yet by other people, but and it's not saying that you are going to, but it's saying that you have dealt with this kind of pain, and maybe you don't even know where it's coming from, because you were born with all your siblings at the same time, and maybe you were growing up in a very safe household, but for some reason you were different. You always felt different compared to your siblings, and until today, and you haven't figured out why that is. And here at least it would give some kind of answer that, yeah, maybe something happened in a past life that was putting you out of balance here, probably even putting all your money situation and everything, your whole stability in life out of balance. And yeah, and you're still dealing with that here. But usually if there's an influence from past life, or if we believe in that, then it usually plays out that right at the beginning of the next life, of this present life, we are experiencing the same thing, to then start to deal with it again, and to be able to heal it as a life lesson. And then in the end we have here the Knight of Cups. Beautiful. Wow, okay, so it all makes sense here with this. We have this, interesting. The Page of Cups is usually shown with the lotus flower somewhere in the background, or maybe the Page of Cups is coming out of a lotus flower, and here it's the Knight of Cups that is coming out of the lotus flowers. So I can see that at least you have grown from a Page of Cups, from a very maybe childlike, very kind, and maybe a little bit naive, but not in a bad way naive, on a very soft and unexperienced kind soul. Here you have evolved to a Knight of Cups. So because this is the next stage of this court cards, and after the Knight of Cups comes the Queen of Cups or the King of Cups, and I mean it always depends on how we look at it. And it's beautiful. We also have the Knight of Cups here. She is holding the heart, a human heart, in her hand, and she's playing the heart like a guitar. So she has full control and power over her emotions, but she is kind of overdoing it, being very melancholic. And we have this melancholic feeling here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I mean, maybe even in that card as well. We have a strong sadness maybe, or maybe even depression. And I hope that it's not the case, but maybe that's something you also dealt with in your life so far. And now you are standing in front of maybe a very big opportunity, and you're kind of hesitant about if you should take that opportunity. And I'm seeing here an evolution of the Three of Sword energy here. Like at the beginning we had the Five of Sword energy connecting to your present life with the Three of Swords here. The heart area that has some arrows inside, and then by the end of your current situation you are you have evolved to the Knight of Cups here. And because you started to be kind to yourself and probably did some kind of healing work around the heart area, maybe meditation. Yeah, but I see there's a strong need for healing. We have the Temperance card. It's the highest card we have here in this whole reading. So there is a huge need for healing your heart area here, your and everything that is troubling you on an emotional level. And in the end it doesn't matter if they came from words, from whatever someone else was saying, because if we have this kind of stuck feeling in our heart area, then of course we are unable to connect both, and then we are in the Two of Swords. We are overthinking things, and it's also playing out every time with traumatic situations that people are more trying to find solutions in life from a logical level. But then in the end, the emotions suffer. And if we overdo that, we are leading towards a burnout or towards depression. So it's very important to take care of our emotional needs in life. Yeah, so I have the feeling that if we close this reading off with one final message, then it would be to try to bring balance into your life again. Complete the task from your past life to find the balance through healing your heart area and get out of your shell, out of your comfort zone, and really choose to stop thinking negatively and then to rely on your heart. Also make sure that to remember that it was not your fault. Try to never connect that to your self-worth. I hope this was helpful for you, and if you felt drawn to pile number 2, feel free to watch that as well. Maybe there's also another message for you here. I haven't looked at the cards yet, so we will see. Yeah, see you in another reading and wish you all the best. Bye bye. Hello pile number 2, welcome to your reading. So at the beginning we are going to look at 5 cards that are going to be significant about your past life, something that the tarot cards want to show us here, some aspect of a past life that is influencing your current life. So let's see. So at first, the first card here is Heart's Desires. The angels are supporting, guiding and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. Beautiful card. We have the night sky here. She's walking down on the ocean shore. So it seems like there was already a very fulfilling energy in your past life. Or maybe in a past life you have already reached all your goals that you have wanted to. And then we have energy healing. Your natural energy healing abilities are an important part of your life purpose. Okay, so maybe you had a role, you played a role, a very protective role in your past life, very healing one for other people. Maybe you were a mother figure. Doesn't have to be female, but someone who is nurturing others, healing others. And you probably went on a healing journey in your past life. And that made sure that you were reaching your goals there. But that's what I get here so far. Maybe it is connecting here in a different way as in reading number 1, because in reading number 1 it was also talking about those 2 cards were holding informations about other people, other people's influence on you. But here I get the strong feeling that this is your energy so far, and that it is actually really your purpose, was your purpose in this past life. To experience enough so that you were able to heal. Maybe you already practiced that in this past life, or you gained enough knowledge to be able to do it in this life. But let's see how this is playing out. But it seems that so far it seems that your past life was very peaceful. Maybe you were not even here on this earth in your past life. Maybe this is your first life. Maybe you haven't had a past life yet, and because it gives me the feeling of like spiritual realm kind of. But yeah, let's see. And then we have Strength to start out your reading. Okay, yeah, you chose this card for this pile, and it's the first card here because I'm going to build a triangle here with the other cards. I will put it over here. So we have the Strength card. It's a big arcana. Okay. So without looking at the other cards, I have the strong sense that there was some hurdles occurring in this past life that you were gaining enough strength of, because strength is not something that we naturally have. Babies have strength, yes, but then life happens, and if the strength card occurs, it's always a sign that we reach that strength, inner strength, through going through difficult moments in life. And we have volcanoes here in the background and some very Mediterranean or southern looking nature. So maybe you were living, I didn't get this energy in pile 1, a specific area, only like a coastal area, and I have this feeling here as well. Maybe a very tropical area even, and any country with volcanoes. And it's also an indication, all this like disruptive energy, like with the volcano energy, and this lion here that has to be tamed by your inner lion, your animalistic side, that you learned how to handle, how to gain control over. So probably you learned a lot about how to deal with your own inner emotions, and you healed aspects in yourself. That's for sure. That's what I can see here. Yeah, the King of Pentacles, again, it connects to this card here, that you probably had a very fulfilling life, at least at the end of your life, and you were reaping your rewards and the harvest, anything that you have planted over this lifetime, you were able to enjoy at the end of your life, or maybe even throughout a huge amount of your past life. And we have this very optimistic golden sky here, this golden yellow background. That's always talking about great prosperity, abundance, and also the end of your life, kind of like in the last decades of your life, being rich and fulfilled, at least satisfied. You don't have to have a lot of money, but being very satisfied and feeling nurtured by life very much. I can see that here for you, and being in full control of everything. Okay, and then we have the Four of Swords card here. It's maybe an indicator of two things. One thing, the healing aspect. You took some time off to heal in this past life, or you were forced to. Usually the Sword card is an energy where you're forced to do something, some outside force that puts you into a certain situation, and maybe you experienced a certain amount of loss in a past life. And look how this mystical fog here, it looks very past life energy, this card. Maybe you were living in medieval times in this past life, somewhere in the south of, well, it can only be Europe then, medieval time, with this knight laying down here to rest. That can only be somewhere in Europe, but we have an acorn here, so maybe also maybe England, France, south of Europe. And maybe you were kind of maybe a knight, a soldier, and you were forced to put to rest because you have attended enough battles and wars in your life. Maybe it's also just a symbolic interpretation here with this card, but since we are talking about past life and I'm trying to figure out where you have lived and how it was, I get the feeling of someone who was a believer here, because this is a church, like meditating inside. It's actually looking like the Fox of Avalon, kind of like someone who is put to rest a bit too early in life. And it gives me this very spiritual feeling here, but I don't have the feeling that you died very, very early in this lifetime, in this past life. I have the feeling you actually were very old by the end of your life, but you were also looking at difficult moments that you had where you were forced to rethink certain situations in your life and to probably change your behavior. You tamed your inner beast in this past life, and that's what you and then you learned how to make all the disruptive energy into a beautiful blooming garden here, and you became the king of this garden. You were actually learning to use your disadvantages of this lifetime to as your advantages in the end. You try to, you were not trying to, you were actually very successful with that, and you were transforming your disadvantages to your advantages. And the heart's desires is probably just an indicator that by the end of this life you have reached full capacity. Very different from reading number 1 actually. You have reached here the capacity of your to be able to live your life and use your full heart energy in this life. And then, oh no, this is the last card here. This is the first card of your tarot cards. We have the Hanged Man here to start out your present moment here with the tarot cards. Hanged moment. Okay, so I have the feeling with this Hanged Man here, it's a very similar energy. So this aspect is probably still connecting, definitely connecting you to this present life, that you were again forced, but maybe this time you force yourself. It's not so strict like here in the past life where you were forced by other people to take time off and to rest, and maybe you were in a battle and were very severely injured, and that way you couldn't go out on the field again. So you had to rest, no matter what you wanted, but you had to. And you learned something here that was successful in the end for the rest of your life. But this aspect, maybe there was something left here for you to learn, and here you have again this energy. Maybe you were very comfortable in this energy because you did learn how to do that. And the Hanged Man is also a way bigger energy than just the Four of Swords. The Hanged Man at the card 12, and that is, so I see an evolution from the number 8 here to the number 12. So you are on the right path here. You are not going backwards, or you are maybe a little stuck at the moment, but it's a necessary pause that you are making in order to gain some clarity and an epiphany of how to move on. Maybe there's something, it's probably something you're trying to figure out now. And probably your life is at a holding stage here. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. Oh wow, okay, so the Three of Pentacles here, it's again like this very similar, like this arc, like this window, this church window here, and here's an arch. And he is lying to rest here in this church, and she is creating, she's actually creating the temple, the inner temple where he was lying. At here he found, here you were finding your inner peace, your inner strength. You were finding this for the first time, and here you already have gained 3 coins in it. So you have a lot of you already made that to creation. I have the feeling there's a strong meditative energy here with all of that. So this meditative healing, energy healing. For energy healing, we always need to meditate somehow. Some form of meditation is needed to do that. So you probably have reached a stage in your life, in your past life, where you have had a certain amount of energy healing and meditation practice experience, and that you can access here in full capacity in this life. Or you are rediscovering that at the moment, or you making use of it, like, because you always make use of that since this life started. And if you haven't figured out why, then it's probably because of this past life, yeah. And that probably sets you apart to other people around you, that you know how to deal with things in life, and you are probably a creator, maybe creative, but at least you are creating something, inventing something, and you're probably trying to figure out at the moment, while going into your inner temple, with what of your creations, there's maybe two or three or more creations that are possible for you, and you have to figure out which way you want to go for the future. Maybe you are artistically talented, and then you also have a spiritual talent, and then you also have a talent with numbers or something, and or with language or with social skills, and you need to figure out which of those things would make you the most happy, and with which of these things you would be most fulfilled in this lifetime. Yeah, you have to figure that out. I'll put it down like this. It's very, very interesting that we have the same. It looks so similar. There's a strong, I can see like a very strong like connection, like this is how this life maybe ended, in a very solitude, meditative state here, and then you are starting out in a hanged man energy here, or maybe not starting out this life, but at least your present moment is like that, and you can you really, really benefit from what you have learned here in the past life, and you are very focused right now on your goals. Yeah. And then we have the Six of Cups energy. Six of Cups energy is very interesting. I was thinking maybe this is a card that will come out in one of these readings, because Six of Cups is always talking about either a past life or a situation that occurred in our childhood very early in life. And it is a situation where we have experienced kindness between people. And maybe that's something you are thinking back and you are missing in your life at the moment. And you are focused on your work, or you're trying to figure out how to connect back to this inner peace and feeling safe and secure like a child. Or maybe that's an energy that is coming towards you. But since it's a past life reading, I also get the message that this Six of Cups here is a strong indicator that this is like a connection here to the past life on an emotional level aspect, that maybe you need something like this reading where someone is telling you, or you yourself are realizing in the end, that you have a lot of inner strength and you just need to look within to find a solution here. Because I have the feeling like she's trying to figure out something here. She's constantly building, but she's building on a lot of levels, and she's trying to figure out things, and you're probably needing to remember. Of course you cannot really remember a past life unless you were clairvoyant, have some kind of ability, but spiritual ability to do that. But usually we only have skills that we were born with. But there's something deep down in your heart area, on your emotional side, that is wanting to talk to you, and it's coming out of your past life, something that you have learned in your past life, some kindness. Yeah, maybe it's also an indicator that if you were thinking of dealing with children and young people in your as a career, then it can be an indicator that maybe you should pursue that. But pursue whatever makes your heart sing and makes your heart feel like you are in this energy. It can be a very analytical job or business or something you do in life, unless it gives you this feeling, then it's as long as it gives you this feeling, then it's right for you. It's interesting. We also have this kind of fog looking like clouds over here, and here we have those clouds, and she is sitting in the clouds. Yeah, it's probably a lot of meditation needed at the moment to reconnect to spirit, into your heart, into your emotions, and what you actually need without money. Just something that you can, some kind gestures from people, or gestures that you can make to other people. And yeah, this energy of giving and taking, and in a very kind and lovely way, very innocent energy also. Yeah, and then we end this reading with the Two of Cups for your present moment. Okay, so we end your reading with Cups energy here. 6 of Cups and 2 of Cups. So there is a strong aspect here. Here we have a lot of solitude. A lot of solitude. You were dealing with yourself, healing your inner demons, and trying to make sure to be in a very stable, inner stable position in life. And maybe you were forced to take control over things, and sometimes it probably put you in a very powerless state, so you had to withdraw and go within and figure out things again. And here you were also, like the Hanged Man is a very solitude card. It's always saying go look within, go into nature, be with yourself, be in solitude. And here we are starting to go out and create with people. The 3 of Pentacles is a card where you are slowly learning, but you build your house brick by brick, and you are building your inner temple here, your inner self-confidence by the things you are creating. And then you find a stage where you can share the things that you have already created here. At least you can talk about it in a very... This is interesting. Do you see this? I don't know how it's called. Those things here. Yeah, I really don't know the English word for this, so I cannot even come up with a word for it. And we also have this thing in the background here as well. And on top of it, we have a 6, the 6 of Cups here. So I have the feeling like, because they are there to and they are there to create stability. Those 2 elements here in the architecture are creating stability for this whole arc, to not to fall down. And this is behind you now. You created your stability here to put your heart out to people, and you're starting to share your emotions to people, your experiences, remembering also things from the past from a more developed and stable position here. Yeah, and with doing that, like it's kind of like an advice, keep doing that. Or if you were thinking of doing that, yeah, go out, do it, collaborate with people, go and share your emotions. Look out also for kind people, and then you will truly heal again. We have those snakes here. It's talking about healing. It's also talking about divine protection here of two people. But in the end, it's basically talking about the inner connection, like healing our shadow and our light side. Other readers would say like the feminine and the masculine side. I have my problems with that, with feminine and masculine side, because then we always have strong pictures with that in our head, what it's supposed to look like, being feminine or masculine, and that's different for everyone. But what it is that we always have like a shadow and a light side, and the shadow side is always needed for us to learn. So we cannot put that away. We of course we can, but we shouldn't. And so the Two of Cups is like a mirror card. It's like this moment when we look into the mirror and we try to figure out how we feel that day. I have this feeling like here at the end of this present moment for you, you have a lot of possibilities to interact with people, to go out and have a great time and celebrate. Being with friends, finding new love, being out there, sharing your emotions, and celebrating your emotional success. Actually, you just need to rest a little more to gain more confidence, to then go out, put yourself out there again, create, communicate with people from a more stable, like remember the stability you have already created in your past life. So pile number 2, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you can make use of what I told you here about your past life and the connection to your present moment. It looks very fulfilling here. If you felt drawn to group number 1, feel free to watch that as well. And I hope to see you in one of my next readings. Bye bye.